dreamt of landing a space shuttle on the moon? Not yet. I mean, not that I know of, okay? That would be like building a holy monastery on a landfill site. Oh, Manui, maybe not, okay? Instead, we only had a promise or a commitment by the president, as some prefer to call it these days, a commitment to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa by the end of a 4-year mandate for now. After 2 years, some Ghanaians say Fancy Gadam's totality should win a global award for timeless relevance. Shayna, the cleanest city presidential promise or commitment is a born one virgin. 2 years ago, we married a beautiful speech. Next time, the city is even uglier. And guess who just won a new contract to make the city cleaner? God. Yeah. Inshallah, this is BackPage on City TV. I am Caleb Kuda, as always, with tender news on its head. Good to have you. Before we look at Sanitation Minister's new simultaneous equation for making Accra the cleanest city in Africa and the call for women to reject marriage proposals from men living in homes without toilets, and the wise senior minister's wise counsel that has been upheld as otherwise, let's look at this. Rescued or not? Confusion ayabasa. One of the newspapers, a pro-government newspaper, they caused quite a stir with a publication that says the 3 Takoradi girls had been rescued by the BNI. It added that they were in a health facility receiving treatment somewhere in Accra. So the family went to the Western Regional Police for updates. After the meeting, the police will not speak to the media, but the family did. Ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca Quayson.
We came here to meet one lady, that's their PR, and she said what we are hearing is not true because they have not heard any information. They have no idea of what we are talking about because she too saw it on Facebook. So it's yet to confirm whether it's true or not. But to her per se, they said the rumors are not true. We are in pain. We are like it's not easy for us. So at least we are begging her, if truly what they are saying is true, please, Madam Tiwa, I'm begging you, please just talk to my mom. Tell her what is going on because it's like you have left us in the dark. We don't know what is going on.
Now, on May 2, the families of the 3 kidnapped girls say they will show what it means to keep on keeping on.
God willing, tomorrow we are going to the BNI office to verify whatever the Daily Guide people are saying. If it is true that indeed they have found the girls, we give thanks to God, and we also celebrate together with the BNI and then other stakeholders. But if it is false, that one, please, we will never ever forgive. Now, where we are coming from, we are holding Madam Tiwa, the CID boss, we are holding her responsible.
What will you tell the Ghana police? Because the police is saying they are still working hard. What will you tell them in a few words? What will you tell them to do about this very situation? Now,
we don't have anything to tell Ghana police. They are saying that they are working hard. They should keep on keeping on, as Madam Tiwa said.
Yeah, and we also keep on keeping on. Now, the police says the report is false. Even though they found the location of the girls, several days on, they have not rescued them. All these while, the family say that they only get updates from the media. So Superintendent Sheila Abeye Bakwan, she is Director of Communications for the Police Service. She says a liaison officer has been appointed to convey information from the police then to the family. This was after the former CID boss, COP Bright Odro, retired, suggested this in an interview with City News. Guess what? Madam Backman could not disclose the names of the officers. And lastly, the family says it is a lie. No, I mean it is false.
Please, it's never true, and we use that expression. As far as I'm concerned, there is nothing like that. So, as I'm speaking with you, there is nothing like any police officer who has come to our aid to tell us anything. No, there's nothing like that.
In all these, MPs have been falling over themselves, scoring political points.
if the dog of the interior minister or the president had gone missing, I'm sure they would have activated the entire government machinery to go look for that dog.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable.
So you think the police are not investigating the crime? How would they have arrested somebody who found his way, somehow out of cells and was rearrested? That's not work.
But have we taken
No,
this,
it's not work.
Have we taken this
No,
issue?
hold on. I want to know. That's not work.
No, but we're talking
No, I want to know if that's not work.
You don't.
Let's not trivialize.
You don't
I intend to call
please.
a spade. I've expressed my disappointment with what the head of the CID told us.
Now, if you're a teenager, this story gives you a lot to think about, doesn't it? Your country will go all out for you, won't it? So give your country your all. And I'm serious. I'm really serious. Now there's great news. Great news. Great news. Say great news. Great news. Now, if you're allergic to bad roads, like I always say I am, and you can't wait to see better roads, I have great news for you. Roads Minister has submitted a memo to Cabinet to consider increasing road toll.
A memo to Cabinet asking for an increase in the tolls, all aimed at trying to improve the revenue base and to improve the cash flow into the road fund.
I told you, great news, right? Now, the best part of this news is that the tolls you have been paying all these while, no, government loses a minimum of 40% revenue and maximum 80% of them. And guess what? The man who has been in charge of road tolls in Ghana, the manager, Mr. Emmanuel Spencer, he has not been sacked though. When your papa, they should sack him for mismanagement. None of many day. Luckily, he has been reassigned. Why?
The manager for tolls should be removed and reassigned immediately. I will set up a committee next week to carry out investigation into how the recruitment exercise was carried out.
Shame on you. Those who wanted Mr. Emmanuel Spencer Ban, shame on you. Emmanuel Ban has escaped like a bird from the fowler's snare. You know, the snare is broken. Now, if you don't understand, quit your job and join the civil service. You can collapse a whole state-owned enterprise and no one can do you foco. It's that good. Well, the sad thing is 50% of toll collectors are by law supposed to be persons with disability. But no, out of more than 660 toll collectors, only about 100 are persons with disability. Very sad.
And that's at now. 664 people are working in the toll booths nationwide. 664. And instead of the 50% slot to the disabled people, only 100 are disabled. And even these 100 have had a number of complaints. They don't allow them even to enter the toll booths. At times they tell them, don't come to work, stay at home, you will be paid. Clear sabotage of government policy.
Clear sabotage. But see, this is why toll booths and public toilets are some of the first facilities party vigilante groups scrabble for when their parties win elections. Now, Ghana Disability Association we dare your back, all right? Keep on keeping on. Fight for what is yours, okay? We dare your back. Every time I follow news around the world, particularly this week, right? Every time I followed the news around the world, I cringed at the increasing death toll recorded in Sri Lanka after suicide bombers detonated themselves in packed churches and luxury hotels on Easter Sunday. So far, 359 people have died, including 45 children and some foreigners. The Ghanaian people and I are here to share digital sympathies. Right? But some say perhaps it's because a cathedral was involved. I'm not sure. It's still not clear though. What is clear is that the Indian intelligence agencies gave Sri Lankan security agencies a tip-off about a week earlier, but they did nothing. Now, the Ghanaian people are hereby sad, shocked at this cruel act of cowardice, and we pray with the families of the affected. Our thoughts too are with the people of Sri Lanka. Now, back to Ghana. There was a back-to-back fire outbreak at two major markets in Kumasi during the Easter holidays. In fact, it was a one-day, one-fire outbreak affair.
The Saturday and Easter Sunday fire outbreaks have left many traders at Asafo Market stranded and disturbed. The two fire outbreaks affected 208 shops, leaving about 1,000 people who worked in those shops helpless. Traders whose shops were not engulfed in flames are, however, going on with their usual activities. The National Disaster Management Organization has assured the victims that efforts are being made to get them to resume their economic activities by the end of this week.
Now, city authorities suspect arson. Firemen say the return to the scene by traders will affect their investigations. Others are asking if anything ever comes out of such investigations at all. But some of the affected persons say they want to rebuild their bench stores and shops themselves because government takes forever to rebuild.
Ni container ni mami fa sika ma sene nye sika ketwa sika egu container mu nye sika ketwa ni nyina timi ahye timi sra ban ne sa ban ni hu ye mobo no omoaye na se de wa moaye de a ye ni ba bi ekofa sika kura de aye container no kura na ya tenem kura ya adwuma de ahwe ye mo enti aban ni hu ye mobo no omoaye yesremo omu hu ye mobo na se de edin ma ye pa se de ye hu ne ye nye enti aban ni moaye no omoaye na se de ye ntimi nya hwe ye.
Let's take a break, okay?
Get the backstory of the major news stories on Press Conference. Hear from the editors and the reporters behind the biggest stories of the week.
The university needs to think and reconsider. There are women who are in our universities who have been sexually molested for grades. That doesn't matter.
Press Conference every Sunday at 9 p.m. with Duke Mensah Opoku. Only on City TV.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
Welcome back. On this show, we have said before that one of the most important promises any politician will give the Ghanaian people is this one.
Developments that have been made to clean up the Korle Lagoon are very important for the welfare of Accra. Like the harbour in Kufuor's time, Plans were made, sods were cut, but since then nothing has happened. We're going to begin again. The commitment I want to make is a commitment I want all of us to make. That within these 4 years, by the end of the 4 years of my term in office as president, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa. That is where we want to get to.
Within these 4 years, okay, note that. The response of many Ghanaians at the time was one of hope at least and excitement at best. Others were cynical. We don't know how government appointees reacted to it privately though, but you can tell somewhere like, hey, no. Wasanko shebo kesiye. We obama jumani yantumi no. Me say opposition for nyaya to wait onio nanado onio but in the presence of the president, I'm sure Dr. Baumia in particular will go like, now you do all, you sport it. Your latest promise there, Charlie. It be deadly. You've broken the promises record. And you can imagine his response while he's laughing. They are kind of laughter, no? I'm not going to do that. Well, as the days go by and turn into years, floods are claiming lives, that are in higher tolls than they did when there was no promise of making Accra the cleaner city. Some say you stopped the National Sanitation Day and replaced it with National Talkintation Day. To be fair, the sanitation minister, says, clean there. Accra will be the cleanest in Africa. But the timeline, God is in control.
Yes, inshallah, the president will go for 2 terms, and at the end, Accra would have been, and we are on course. God is in control, and the battle is still the Lord's. His Excellency, the President, is so serious with this call to all of us to make Accra the cleanest city and Ghana a clean country.
Madam, the Lord will not take this battle. 4 years does not become 8 years. 4 years is not the same as 8. The Lord will not take. You and I, we will battle this battle. You see, some people say government is finding an excuse instead of admitting it talked bigger than it walked towards its cleaner city in Africa talk. But maybe, just maybe, the minister actually better represented the president's thoughts with respect to the deadline for making Accra the cleaner city in Africa. Watch the gesture of the president closely during his sessional address.
Last year, I reiterated before you my pledge of improving sanitation in the country and making Accra the cleanest city in Africa by the end of my term. I said by the end of my term.
Did you see that? I said by the end of my term. Understanding sign language, Ghanaians, you have to get this. Understanding sign language and coding is extremely important. And the Ghanaian people are yet to catch up with these things. So, Mr. President, when Ghanaians are ranting over this thing, don't mind them, okay? I mean, they don't understand that it's not everything politicians say that you have to take to heart. But, true for God, this cleaner city thing, the way it excited me, like I was hoping government will galvanize all Ghanaians through a consistent attitudinal change campaign, proper punishing, properly punishing offenders, and then prioritizing cleaning, clearing of unauthorized structures, on waterways, and all those things. But I didn't see that sort of thing. I thought they were also like engage prison, inmates to do some cleanings and go to schools, dredge the door properly, clean beaches and all that. Teaching school children to separate waste, like plastic from tin, segregation as in. Like we'll plant trees along our roads, then things like now. If you paid close attention to the sanitation minister, she said, by the grace of God, inshallah, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa plus or minus 6 years after Nanado wins a second term. Okay. Now, is God willing to send down angels to come clean after us? After all the sins he has given us? Actually, I have a response for it. It appears God is even disappointed in us.
Really, the Christians are disappointed in us because they are not exhibiting Christ-like, character wherever they are, whether in government or in politics. You see, we are agents of transformation. And if you are an agent of transformation, you should be able, wherever you are, bring transformation and change there. That's why I'm saying if we are not able to bring transformation and change wherever we are, it means we are disappointed.
It's true. Yeah, we are disappointed. Basically, on Easter Sunday, my area apostle, Apostle John Ameniampo, he delivered a powerful message. What struck me was that even though Christians are in the majority in Ghana, corruption is rife and our city remains dirty. That was the premise. So we should be agents of change and transformation. Now, here's the interesting thing. Where the Asafo Onukpa sat during the convention, the Easter convention, there was littered with empty water bottles. So I asked him about it. The church, for example, is embarking on environmental cleanliness and all of that. But if you look around, you find that even where the elders sat, it seems like they've left the bottles there. It looks like we have a long way to go.
Yes, actually, we have a long way to go. It's an education we are giving, so we should continue. And then we also should set an example. When I drink water from, let's say, a sachet, I have to put it in my bag. When I get to the house or where there is a bin, and I put it inside. We have to educate them at the church premises and wherever we are gathered.
Sincerely, we need to really look in the mirror and ask ourselves why our country is so filthy. I mean, we need to have an introspection. After the interview, I was having a similar thing and I asked myself where I left the water bottle I had emptied. Actually, I left it on the chair I sat on, chasing the interview you saw. Luckily, a gentleman came around and picked it. Also, to be fair, announcements were made during the service for people to pick up whatever they left behind. So, yeah. But seriously, we've got to stop the hypocrisy and politicking and deal with this challenge head on. Government should accept that the cleaner city agenda thing, though it's catchy and fancy, it has no serious plan and is going nowhere. I mean, when this particular government is serious about something or anything, we see it, we feel it, and we know it. The way Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, for example, will bully you when you talk about free SHS and you don't smile. You don't smile. Go and ask the headmasters. Wallah, they will transfer you to Fabodia Betu in this thing and you see your this thing. So, I mean, let's do something. Otherwise, last year, a doctor died. This year, soldiers died with a child and some others. Next year, by this time, may Ghanaians have higher sense. Shout amen. I mean, you won't shout amen. You'll be there. Hopefully, next year you'll be safe. But not long ago, Facebook, talking about Facebook, let me tell you. Will you believe Facebook has made $15 billion in advertising revenue from January to March this year alone? Hey! I mean, when you put the GDP of all African countries together, we might not get half full. Anyway, Facebook faced a fine of $5 billion for using the private information of users. This is a sanction that has been, mooted by the U.S. government. Right, and that will be the highest the U.S. state will slap on anybody. Now, Ghana, Hano, they will say that the fining doesn't bring development. Slapping fining doesn't bring development. Anyway, back to the initial one. Last week, Facebook showed me a reminder of a photo 2 years ago that I had shared. We had gone round the city sharing flyers with the hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. People said, and then you go to the villages. That's where it's happening. So people, they didn't even open their glass for us to give us them things. But generally, it worked well. Those who said that forgot that the prime masters who had the control parts of Galamsey concessions were here in Accra. Well, fast forward, we all managed to get government to ban, introduce policies and plan and all that. 2 years on, Jrim, Proye, Kankan, ne pesemenkuminyanti, Galamsey fight no. I'm sad to say to the Ghanaian people that Ajigon, you see, the weakest link in the Galamsey fight, many say, has been the enforcement, the judiciary, the punishment. The kid gloves that they treated offenders, especially foreign nationals, with was widely described as appalling. But finally, we have heard from the senior most. Aisha Wang Atamfo Beko low battery. Nane power bank. And that's 99. Still charging. Interesting. The senior minister says that jailing her will not bring development. Now, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister says the change in color of the Pra River and the Shaman shoreline is as a result of rainfall and not the Galamsey activities.
Realize that when the rains set in, the banks of the rivers are washed into the river. The banks of the rivers are washed into the river. So when you are asked to go and fetch water, sometimes when you go, you pick bigger leaves to cleanse the surface of the water before you fetch that water. So the rains that have set in today might have caused some river bodies to go close to the bad state that we found them. But it is not all that bad as we saw in 2016.
I feel like crying. Honorable, thank you very much for coming. It's okay, you can go. I hope your new discovery is captured in the new curriculum. The children must know high sense, high research. Now, a simple question by a journalist got him lashed badly by his interviewee. Not lashed as he lashed, but lashed. Last year's event, it was not. But we are evolving. This is 2019. So now we evolve. So 2019 is back. This is go. Now it's better. All right. So after Easter, what next? After Easter, what next? Are you serious? After Easter, Christmas, and it will be power again. Oh my God! After Easter, what next? Are you serious? God, now you're fine. Let me end by reiterating, and now I'm serious. The advice of the sanitation minister, that if he doesn't have toilet facilities in his house, sister, don't marry him.
We know what sanitation gives to us. Sanitation gives all of us dignity, especially we the women. So I entreat all young ladies, if you are marrying and the man doesn't have a toilet in the home, please don't agree. Thank you for watching us on Backpage. My name is Caleb Kuda. Look, if you decide to say what is right, if you decide to do what is right, they may break your bones, but they can never break your spirit. Stand for Ghana. Fight for Ghana. My name is Caleb Kuda on Facebook, Caleb Kuda on Twitter, @Caleb Kuda. Fight for Ghana.